let's start soon. I'm gonna call my guest.
Hello.
Hello, David.
Hello.
How is it going?
I'm alright.
That's good to hear. Are you ready to make a podcast?
Sure.
Checking if everything is fine. Yeah, I have everything ready. Alright, let's go here. Alright. I'm going to turn down the music for now, and I'd like to say welcome everyone for the third episode of the Jousting podcast. It's been a while since we had that last episode, and in this episode I'm joined by none other than you all know him. He's the true legend. He's a key member of the Elite Six. It's David. Hello, David.
Hello.
So,
True member of the Elite Six. Well then.
Well, that's you that you didn't coin the term, but you created it. So
Yes.
that's on you, really.
That's my fault now. I see.
Yeah, so that people that don't know about this story, it's when you explain to Smite that you have there is like a list of people that are considered like the main people that you play ranked with, and that's where it came from. The term was coined by Smite, I believe.
Basically, somewhere in season 4 or season 5, I said something about being able to reach Champ 3, or believing I could reach Champ 3 with an amount of people in the server.
Yeah, and that list ended up being what is now known as the Elite Six.
Yes.
So yeah, so moving on, we're gonna talk about the regular season that just ended, and how it all panned out. So I'm currently playing on some workshop map, but I'm going to switch over.
Yeah, I'm watching that.
I'm going to switch over to the main subject of discussion. So I don't remember exactly where we ended up, but I believe that it was we just played week 2, and we were about to start week 3, and I think that was it. And we basically missed 4 weeks of playthrough, and
4 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a game that you had remembered that was actually going surprisingly in your opinion. I don't know. Basically, the big surprise would be in the final results of the upper league. Like I didn't. So let's go over everyone basically. So let's start with the bottom of lower league maybe. So with Tanner and Oten, I believe that is not really a surprise. The end result.
Yeah.
Although the Oten managed to get the win over Tanner, which was the game of the year.
The Silver Bowl.
Yeah, the Silver Bowl.
As you called it last season.
Yeah, and but however, Oten managed to get a minus 43 in points difference, which is quite amazing.
That's painful.
Yeah. So moving on, over that there is Arulas. I don't know if it's probably not really a surprise, but I expected him to do a little better.
I was surprised. I think he lost to Charter. Let's see
Oh
what
yeah,
round that was. Round 3.
yeah,
Charter beat Arulas 5-1. I think that
yeah,
was a big surprise to me because Charter hasn't been playing the game, and Arulas has been showing up in that boy semi-frequently.
yeah.
So he at least plays the game.
Yeah, Charter at the time of the game like didn't play Rocket League for like 3 months at least, and he was completely out of the game and managed to get the win over Erlas. That was grinding a little bit, not really hardcore grinding, but still decent grinding. So it's a little surprising, but it's not really that surprising. Also the no ties. I like the no ties going all in. Next, we have Pim. So maybe you have some insight on what is going on with Ones and Pim.
Um, Pim was never the most mechanical player. He just knows where the ball's going to be in team situations, and he also works well with aggressive players, I guess, or works well with me. That
Hmm.
might be it. And then when it comes to ones where it's mechanical and you have to do everything yourself and have to outplay someone, it doesn't work as well. And then secondly, he's just been bored of the game recently,
Oh yeah.
so he hasn't been playing it. I think he hadn't played it for a few weeks, and then we kind of forced him to play. And I forced him to play right before the RLCS qualifiers. And then after we did the RLCS qualifiers, I don't think he's played anything but Jousts.
Yeah, he's really basically giving up on Rocket League. This is
Feels
sad.
bad, man.
I believe he's not going to participate in the next season of Jousting.
Probably
And
not.
but yeah, it's still surprising because he got his wins against Oten and against Arulas. So yeah, he didn't beat anyone over him in the rankings. Really, no surprises. Yeah,
I actually
pretty
predicted
surprising.
Arulas to win that game as well. Arulas, please.
Yeah, that game. Wait, where is that game? Pim. I missed him. Where is he? Pim
The
Arulas.
last round, round
Yeah.
6.
Alright, let's see who voted what for that game. Yeah, I mean,
So that was the gimmick cars.
it's around. Yeah, it's like a third of people thinking that Erles could win. Like, also Pim believing that. So, I mean, yeah. Most people that play regularly expected. Well, not all of them. Well, I don't know. That's kind of surprising, the choices. But yeah, it's pretty disappointing from Pim. But I mean, if he's giving up, I mean, it was really a relief when he knew that he wouldn't play in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that's not ideal.
But it's funny if you look at previous ranks of most of the people in the lower league. I think the ones that are the ones that show up as interesting are the ones that Pim, who's reached Champ 2 in threes, and Darkson, who ended last season in Champ 3. And you can kind of see that Darkson lives up to that expectation by being at the top of the board, and Pim's just all the way at the bottom, which is it's still surprising.
But I mean, yeah, I would expect him to at least make the playoffs. But yeah, let's see some games against Walnut. Maybe he doesn't win because Walnut is on fire right now. Against Jury, I believe he could have won definitely.
Wasn't that hoops?
Round
That might have been hoops.
3, it was maybe it was 2v2. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was hoops, I believe. Yeah, and the round 2, it was a tie between him and Tanner, which we costed him 1 point. But even with 1 point more, we did Puchold median, it would have not been enough. So yeah, pretty disappointing from Pim. Now Charter. Charter is kind of similar in his approach to Rocket League.
He only plays jousts, basically.
Well, he really binge plays when he. Well, sometimes he plays, but there is a long stretches where he doesn't play at all, and yeah, he's not really that concerned about the competition, and it shows. But yeah, let's see his wins. He tied against Tanner last week. I mean, just ended Sunday. He lost against Fire, which makes sense. He lost against Noxu, which makes sense. Tough schedule. Charter, where is he? He won against Aulas, won against Oten, and he lost against Walnut. So pretty tough schedule for Charter, but he won the game he should have won, and yeah, pretty difficult regular season for Charter. I'm not really blaming him for losing the games he lost. Just unfortunate. Next we have Lunzik, and Lunzik, it's also a bit surprising. Only one draw for him, and I don't.
Which is also surprising considering the previous seasons.
Yeah, and I just don't understand the way he plays in 1v1 Lunzik. Like, okay, he lost against Fire, which I guess makes sense, and he lost against Walnut. He lost against Darkson. Yeah, also a tough schedule. Like, he won against Tanner, and he tied against Nomad, which could have maybe made the difference, and won against Shuri. So, pretty expected after all, but damn, that tie probably would have changed everything, because if he played that game and won that game, that tie game, he would have made 8th in the playoffs. So yeah, a bit surprising. And now we are into the playoffs, and Yondaime, I didn't expect him to do that well. I don't know what's your take on him.
I don't know. I don't see him talk about Rocket League a whole lot, and he's occasionally in that point, so it's hard to judge where his skill lies. I'm trying to see what his results were. We got wins against.
Wait, let me tell you. He won against Pim in round 1. Then he won against Fire. So pretty unexpected, I would say.
I think that would be considered an upset.
Then lost against Noxu. Lost against Ash S with, I don't know.
That was a 1-goal game, so
yeah, pretty close.
Seems close.
Then he lost against Jury, which is also an upset, I would say. But Jury had a great regular season, so I don't know. And then what am I doing? And then he won against Oten, which makes sense. And yeah.
Oh, the win over Fire was the 2v2 round with Scheist, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Against Fire and Devato. I see Fire getting upset with Devato in chat.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, it could have been a prepared podcast, but it's not. So get used to it. I don't even remember the gimmicks. Yeah, I don't remember at all.
Week 2 was the 2v2.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
It's the 2v2. Okay, so next we have Walnut, which is rising really fast, and now it's pretty scary to play him in the playoffs, but we're gonna talk about that later. Walnut, I play a bunch of 1v1 against him, and he's pretty impressive. Like, he's getting better and better every game, and he's improving really fast. It kind of like Fire did. So it's a bit scary.
Does that mean we have more people to play ranked with now?
Potentially, yeah, but he's not around a lot. But it's so he played against Charter in round 1 in 1. Then he barely lost against Darkson week 2, which was the 2v2. And Walnut is more of a 1 player, and Darkson is more of a 2 player. So
I played in that game. I was on Darkson's team, so against Walnut and Dark, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah. And then he lost against Fire in Hoops, which, okay, it's interesting. Then he won against Lanzik. Round 4, what was it? I don't remember. It was, I don't remember at all. And
No,
then
I didn't either.
He won against Pim, and he won against he lost against Noxu. So pretty decent. Pretty decent results. He's definitely scary for the playoffs. Yeah, it's pretty good from him, and he's improving. So this is interesting. Next we have Jury, and I believe that he had an amazing regular season. I don't know what's your take.
See, he lost against Lunzik in the first round with the camera settings. Then he lost to Arulus in the 2v2. He beat Pim in hoops. Then he absolutely destroyed Tanner by 11 goals difference. Somehow he allowed Tanner to score. Then he beat Yondame with by 1 goal. That was a closer game. And then he lost to Hash-S. So he started off with 2 losses and then went on a nice win streak.
Yeah.
Before losing the last game.
I would say that the win against Pim and the win against Yondame is an upset. So he won 2 upsets and managed to get a decent seed for the playoffs. And I don't know, I've been pleasantly surprised by the one's play of Jury. What do we have next? Next we have Nomad. Okay, so Nomad had a tie game. So which one was it? It was... Where is it? Oh, it's against Lunzik in round 2. Yeah, it's the 2v2 game. They didn't play.
Right.
I don't remember what were the teams, but I believe that even with the loss, he would have made the playoffs. So yeah, pretty solid.
Although his seed might have been very different going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you take into account who he faced and the goal difference, all that.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah.
Plus, if he loses against Lunzik, then both of them are at a 3-3 record.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if results all went wrong, he could have ended up 9th.
Yeah, that's possible, but that's pretty unlikely, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that tie was definitely good for him. So he lost against Darkson in a close game. Every game of Darkson is close somehow. He won against Noxu, which was the big upset. It was in round 5. What was the gimmick in round 5? I absolutely don't remember.
Special cars.
Special cars? What? That was not round 6? I don't
I played an American from the last round, so a random card. Pretty sure it was. They might have re-rolled though. Lots of re-rolls were used just because it was the last one.
He re-rolled the cars in round 5. So yeah, it was a car. It was Gizmo, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's what the fire says.
Right, yeah.
So it was basically a regular game, and Nomad managed to get the upset over Noxu. So that was the big upset, I would say, of lower league. And with that, he managed to beat Erlas narrowly. He got beaten by HS, and in round 1, he won against Oten, which was the gimme. 11-0. Savage.
which put him in the number 1 seed for the 2v2.
Yeah.
Exactly where he didn't want to be.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe that's why he played dead to not play. Because his teammate, I don't even remember, was his.
I think his teammate was LARP. No one for some reason, or Stump.
Yeah, I don't know.
Scheduling issues probably.
All right. Next we have the top seeds of the league. We have Fire. Fire that only lost 2 games. Which game did he play? Did he lose? He lost against Darkson, and he lost against Hyundai. Huh. Yeah, that's the loss against Hyundai probably shouldn't have happened. It was 2v2 though, so
Yeah.
it's a bit more random. Also, somehow Fire letting Tanner score 3 times.
Yeah.
It's that's not possible, Fire. You cannot allow this to happen.
Probably blame the camera settings for that.
But I mean, still, it's not possible. So yeah, if he avoids the loss against Hyundai, he's at least third seed. But I mean, it's pretty good playoffs. Not the hardest schedule. With his Buchhold is pretty low compared to the top seeds, but pretty solid. And I believe he's going to do very well in the playoffs because he likes to have repeated games. Next we have Ashes, and the Ashes, it's slightly surprising to me that he's number 3. I would expect him to be like around 5 or 6, but he managed to get a lot of wins. So he lost against Darkson, and he lost against Noxu. So basically, only beaten
The
by
2 people above him.
Yeah, only beaten by the top 2 people. And he won against Aulas, he won against Nomad, he won against Hyundai, he won against Jerry. So, good performance. I don't know how he will play in the playoffs. I'm not convinced that he will do that well. I believe he's going to beat Jerry, but I mean, I don't know how he'll do. Next, we have Darkson.
The Darksdog himself.
The Darksdog. And let's just start with the first game. I mean that's not okay.
Which caused his still existing name or nickname in the server.
Yeah.
The 13th seed.
I mean, how do you lose 7-0? I understand that the gimmick is bad, but it's bad for everyone. How do you just completely lose your mind because of just the camera changing? So
maybe he underestimated Noxu.
That's also possible.
And had played 1v1s against him at that point.
I believe that at this point, the belt games were still a thing. And by the way, the belt is now completely dead. So
you've killed it now.
No, I didn't kill it, but no one cares. I've been the belt holder for like 3 months or something.
You're the ones belt holder, and you and me together are the 2s.
Yeah.
People to challenge.
And no one cares. No one even think about it. And I think I'm just going to kill it soon because it's
feels bad, man.
I mean, according to Scheist, it was a much better idea than Jousting, and it died after a few weeks. So that
Scheist stopped participating. Feels bad, man.
That basically tells it all. So yeah, Arulas, a really rocky start. Then he almost lost against wait, what am I saying? Darkson almost lost against Walnut, which I mean, round 2 Walnut is not the same as round 6 Walnut. Round
And that was the
two.
2v2 where he had me as the teammate.
Yeah, that's even worse. I mean, what are you doing, David?
I don't know. I don't know why I was nervous for that game. It didn't matter for me.
I mean, okay, it is the Darkson barely winning, and then he barely won against Lunzik. Then he got a decent win against Fire, and after that, he completely destroyed Ashes, but then also almost lost against Nomad. Nomad that had pretty good end of the season.
It's been surprising lots of people.
Yeah, Nomad, look out for him. He's a scary fourth in the lower league. Okay, and finally we have Noxu. So Noxu had a basically perfect playoff until he met with Nomad. Although all these games are pretty close. I mean, winning 7-4 against Charter is not really that impressive.
But then Darkson was a 7-0. Ashes was a 5-1. Yondemi was a 5-1. So those were very convincing, the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, and then last 3 rounds, only 7-4 against Charter that barely plays anymore. Not that impressive. Losing against Nomad, obviously bad, and then almost losing against Walnut. I didn't see that game, but I wish I did. Yeah, he's cooling off, I believe. He was really hot, and then now it's okay. It's not good, but it's okay. So let's take a look at the picture of the lower league playoffs. So what do you think will happen? So let's go game by game. There is Noxu Yondeme. I believe that's a 2-0 for Noxu, but maybe Yondeme can take a game.
Yeah, I do think Noxu should be the one winning that.
Yeah, Yondeme can maybe get a game if Noxu plays really bad in EU. I don't think Yondeme is able to get 2 wins over Noxu. And Noxu is going to try hard. That's for sure. Now, the second game is really interesting to me. It's Fire Nomad, and that's already a big showdown, in my opinion.
Went and looked for my personal predictions, and I predicted Fire to win this one.
Yeah, but
so I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, but I believe that goes to 3 games, definitely, and probably Fire. But Nomad showed in the recent weeks that he's competing hard in ones, and he's scary. So I would say 3 games.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Next we have the second seed Darkson against Walnut, and this game,
Well, that's an interesting one.
That's either Darkson completely controls the pace, and it goes his way, which is pretty likely to happen because Walnut likes to create a lot of offense, and Darkson loves to play off the offense of someone else. The ideal situation for Darkson is to be the one waiting, and when the other creates, then he goes in the counter attack. But if it's someone that's like grinding him, then it completely misplays everything. So Walnut is a pretty good matchup for Darkson. However, Walnut is playing pretty well, and it can go really badly for Darkson if he starts to panic. Like if Walnut wins the first game, then that's a bit scary. I'm not 100% sure that Darkson can win 2 games in a row against Walnut.
Yeah. Maybe Walnut needs the first game to figure Darkson out, and then knows how to beat him.
Yeah.
I don't think Darkson changes strategy much between games.
Well, yeah, it's Darkson once is a thing to see. It doesn't make any sense, but somehow it works most of the time. Yeah, that game. Actually, I really like those lower league playoffs. I think it's really interesting. Uh, I I don't know what to expect from the bottom of the bracket. For example, with HS Jury, that game was just played in the week 6, and it was on different cars. They were playing on Breakout.
That's a nice car.
That's absolutely awful.
No,
And
it isn't. It's a great car.
so yeah, I don't,
It's not a great 1v1 car, I will admit that.
yeah, it's not ideal. And Jury lost, but I don't know. It could have been close. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit close at the start, and then we completely fell off. But I mean, it's possible to see a game from Jury, but I believe that Ashes is going to win it, and I also believe that Darkson is going to win, but it's probably going to be in 3 games. And okay, now for the semifinals, what do you see?
So I predicted Noxo against Fire for the first semifinals, with Noxo winning that. Basically, things are sticking to seeding. And Darkson and Hashes, with Darkson winning that. Nothing. I'm not calling any upsets right now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would. So my prediction is Noxu Fire as well, and I have Noxu. Also in 3 games, I would say. Simply because of the regions, and I think Noxu doesn't play well in EU. In the
lag
bottom,
gets to him.
yeah, in the bottom, I have Darkson Ashes, but I'm really considering switching because I had Darkson winning, but I'm really considering giving it to Ashes because Ashes is playing exactly like Darkson doesn't like, which is a bit slow, a bit grindy. Unless Ashes starts to do stuff that he shouldn't do, then it's going to be an easy win. But if he plays seriously and doesn't let Darkson do anything, then maybe I'm switching. Maybe not. I don't know. And for the finals, what do you see? In how many games?
Now this is a really difficult one. I actually don't know because the Nox Darkson matchup was week 1 with crazy camera settings,
Yeah.
and that was very one-sided. That was months ago. So I can see either of them winning. Don't even see who I predicted to win this one. I think I might have given it to Darkson, but I'm not sure. Let me check. Yeah, I did. I did predict Darkson to win in the finals. But I guess it could be 4 or 5 games. It's I could see going either way, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I have Noxu and Darkson, but if it's that matchup, then Noxu is basically the worst opponent for Darkson. Like, for the reason I mentioned before. Like,
The playstyle.
yeah, Noxu doesn't play at all. He kills the game. And Darkson does the same. Yeah, it's very frustrating because there is nothing going on.
So you have 2 players that are waiting for the other to challenge so they can win a 50-50.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 fest if they play. And it can go either way. And I believe that being annoying all the time can favor Noxu. So I might switch. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I'll probably switch. I'll give it to Noxu. Noxu in, let's say, in 4 games.
Does Darkson not play annoying in 1v1s? I mean, he goes for lots of bumps in team.
Yeah, he does play weird and annoying, but that works well when his opponent tries to create offense, and Noxu doesn't try to create offense. And right. in that case, I don't know how Darkson is going to react. Also, I have the bronze match. I have Ashes against Fire, and I believe that Fire is going to win that. But there is no prediction for that.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Fire as well in that case. Did they match up in the regular season?
Fire Ashes. Let me see.
No, I don't think they played each other.
Let's see. That's weird. Yeah, they didn't play. Yeah, I don't know. I would say Fire, but I'm not that convinced. I'm not really trusting Fire in 1v1 that much. He does weird stuff sometimes. Alright, so let's move on to the Upper League now. Okay, so to start off, 14th of the Upper League.
Yes.
We have LARP. So
in the first podcast, one of you or Shice predicted him to be the winner.
Yeah, that was Shice, I believe, and I gave Raf as the dark horse. God damn it! Never trust the Canadians. Yeah. So LARP, I don't understand. Like he's like champion whatever in 2s and 3s, and
Champ 3, I think, is what everyone kept saying.
Yeah, it's I don't understand what is this. I don't understand why he doesn't win. So he lost against Ghost in round 1, which was
with
already
the camera settings.
Yeah, it was already a shocker to me.
Yeah.
Then he lost against NFN in the 2v2, which was also a shocker, and then I realized that maybe LARP is not for real.
He NFN re-rolled, or no, I think LARP re-rolled that match, and it became Rumble, which is something NFN is good at.
Yeah.
So that didn't help.
Then he tied against Scheist, because that's what Americans do.
Yeah, you're both in the same time zone, and all of a sudden it's more difficult to arrange a match.
Yeah. Then he lost against Dauntless. Then he tied Dark, because that's what Dark does. And then he lost against Contextual. So this was Contextual and not Arceat. I think that's who he replaced.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to. I don't think he's going to play anymore in the Jousting.
Probably not, indeed.
I don't like. How is it possible to do that poorly when you're doing that well in ranked? I don't understand.
It's either probably not caring enough, or just not handling gimmicks very well.
Yeah, that's probably it. So next we have Raf. So Raf was my dark horse. What a mistake.
Although if two people have to be relegated, I would disagree with relegating Raf over Dark, because Dark didn't win a single game, and his place in the standing is due to the ties having points.
I agree. If LARP decides to stay next season, he's going down as well as Dark. But Raf is safe. Now, if they don't play, probably not. So, be careful, Raf. So yeah, Raf, pretty decent start, winning against the Kingsguard, Dauntless.
Round 1 beating the Kingsguard.
Yeah, very well.
With his new title.
Then he lost against Boulders in the 2v2. Raf had Arulas, so it's okay. Then got completely destroyed by NFN. Then lost closely against, I believe that was already Ibori and not Davato in round 4. Yeah,
I think that was Ibori.
So Ibori is good at the game. Then lost against Scheist. I mean, that's the game you have to win.
Yeah.
And then tied against Dark. So, I mean, it's not that bad when you look at it, but he had
tough matchups. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, of the bottom tier players, that's the best Butchold median. But but it's not okay. It's not okay to lose against Scheist. It's not
That's
okay to lose.
Scheist's only win as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not okay to get destroyed by NFN in Oops. I think that was Oops. No, that was not Oops. I don't remember what it was, but
yeah, round 3 was Oops.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay, ref. Next, we have Dark. Okay, so Dark, there is nothing to talk about. It's awful.
4 ties.
4 ties.
Most of anyone.
I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing, Dark? So I'm not going to talk about it. There's nothing to say. Next, we have Scheist. Okay, so Scheist, 2 ties, which is better than usual for him. Oh, by the way, I'm teasing, but we're gonna talk about not with David, but with the next guest, which is not today. Sorry. We're gonna talk about the changes of next season, and we're gonna change the ties. So stay tuned for our next part of this episode, which will come later in the week. This is a little teaser.
Get ready for that.
So yeah, Scheist, only 1 win, that's against Raf. And then he lost against NFN, which is okay. He lost against Ibori. Oh no, that was Davato. Wait, what? Round 2? He lost against Davato?
That was Fire and Devato against Scheist and Yondaimi.
Oh.
2v2.
Fire and Devato against Scheist and Yondaimi. Okay. Well, shouldn't be that far apart. Should probably win that.
It was funny because that was the only double matchup. They had to play that match twice, and one of the matchups, Fire and Devato won, and the other one was won by Scheist and Yondaimi.
Yeah. I don't know which one was the first one, but since that game was actually in NA, so, and it doesn't really help because basically from Scheist's perspective, playing on US East or playing in EU is comparable, from what I understand, because the US East lag is bad for him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help him. So it makes things worse for everyone to play in US East. So that's weird. And then he also lost against David in round 1. The little Brazil.
With the camera settings.
It's the big rivalry, am I right? Big rivalry.
Oh yes.
Alright, so Scheist, I mean, I thought we could reach the playoffs, but I guess not. That's quite unfortunate. Next, we have Contextual. So Contextual was Arceat for 4 rounds, and then it switched to Contextual because Arceat was too busy to play in Joust. So Arceat started with a win against Dark. Then he lost against Audi. Then he lost against you. And then he lost against Stump, and then he gave up. And then Contextual took up and lost against Dauntless and won against Slarp. So
yeah.
Contextual did okay. I mean, Dauntless, you can probably win against Dauntless, I would say. It's probably close in terms of skill. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world if he loses. And Arceat, that's no good. It's good to win against who did you win against? Dark. It's close, not ideal. And then losing against Howdy is good, but I mean it's a pretty tough matchup. But you could probably beat Stump, I would say.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, I mean, Stump that was Arceat still, right?
Yeah, that was still Arceat. Yeah, I'm talking about Arceat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but you can probably beat. You can probably win one of the game you lost.
Yeah, definitely
So
would have made the difference.
not the best. Next we have Dauntless. So he managed to get 3-3, but doesn't get into the playoffs. That's sad moment for the Kingsguard. Doesn't have a chance to defend his title. So what happened with Dauntless? So I played him. No, that's not the correct round. Okay, so he lost against Raf in round 1. So this is the game that matters completely. If you win that game, it's okay. You're like 4th seed or something.
This was the only game that Raf won as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the game you have to win. But I think he got massively tilted by the camera settings, and Dauntless doesn't like the gimmicks at all. Game 2, round 2, sorry, was against myself, and I re-rolled. That was not 2v2.
Yes.
This
Your team was not ideal.
Yeah, I decided it would be better to re-roll, but I don't remember what I got. I think I got... I got up to 5 goals.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was just a regular game, and got the win. So, I mean, okay. And then Dauntless win against Dark. That's good, but that was close. Then he won against...
It's interesting to see him win the hoops round.
Yeah.
Considering hoops has a little more aerials as part of the play. I think that's more Dark speciality than it would be Dauntless's.
Yeah, but it's a lot of walls, and I'm not sure that... It's also a lot of shitty touches on the ground, and I'm not sure that Dark is good at that.
Right.
Like he likes having a lot of space, and there is no space at all in hoops. Like it's super close. So, like Dark does really well if he has half the pitch for him. Otherwise, not so good. So yeah, Dauntless win against Dark in Oops. Then he won against LARP in round 4. Then he won against Contextual. It's all pretty good, but then the last round, losing against Stump. So yeah, it all comes down to the last and the first round. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, I would say.
Did he play Polars or Ghost?
No.
Hmm.
No,
his
schedule was really easy, I believe. Like if you look at his,
relatively indeed.
His boot hold is really low. I mean, it's 9. It's not great. He should be winning against Raf. That's the big mistake.
Yeah.
Alright. Next, we have
NFN.
It's NFN. So NFN, interesting playoffs. I think he started pretty bad. So, I mean, actually no, it's not him that started bad. So I played him first round. He didn't like the gimmick at all.
Yeah.
Then round 2, he won against LARP. Was it Revolt? I don't think so.
Yeah, that was Rumble.
Oh yeah, that was a Rumble game. Yeah, okay. So yeah, good job. Then he destroyed Raf. Good job in Noobs. Because I played Raf in Noobs and he's okay. So I don't know what happened, but maybe it was Revolt. I don't know. Then he lost against you in round 4.
That was on double goal.
Okay. Double goal.
I think he took the lead most of the time in the game, and then somewhere in the last 30 seconds, I was able to somehow snag the win.
Yeah. Then he lost against Ibori, which, I mean, he only lost against Ibori, you and me. So it's pretty expected results, I would say, from NFN.
It's not bad at all.
And then he beat Scheist for the last round. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty tough schedule actually for NFN.
I do think he could have, probably should have taken the game against me though. because he was in the lead for most of that game.
Yeah. If he wins that game, it's really different, and you're in trouble if he wins that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty tough. Now it's all pretty close in the upper league. The matchups. Next we have Howdy. So Howdy started really hot, if I remember correctly. Howdy won against Stump. Then he won against Archeat, which is called contextual here. Then he won against Polders in hoops, which was incredible.
What did Polders do? Did you watch that game? What happened?
What happened is that they played a warm-up game where Polders destroyed him, and then they played the actual game and he collapsed, and it was mental pressure. So yeah, it's really impressive start by Howdy, and beating Polders in hoops. Not everyone is able to do this, but the last 3 rounds are not as good. So I beat him in Rumble, I believe that was, yeah.
Yep.
Then he lost against Ghost, and that was a close game. Ghost playing really well. And then he lost against you in the last round. How was that last game?
It was. I don't remember. I feel like I was expecting a tougher match because it ended up 9-3, and I was playing. We were both playing Mercs, which is the same hitbox as the card that he usually uses, and not at all the hitbox of the card that I usually use. But
how did it feel to play with an actual car instead of just
an actual car? It's all right. It's good for 1v1s.
It's true. But yeah, I mean, really impressive start by Howdy, and then he collapsed. But he manages to get a decent seed. I mean, 7th. He's going to play Bori, which is going to be a bit scary. But
it's difficult.
Yeah. Next we have Stump that never dies. Stump always manages to get into the playoffs, and then always manages to tilt himself in the playoffs. So Stump,
he got to the finals last season,
yeah.
So
I mean, it was super close. Like, it was in 5 games, and it basically ended up on the server region. So pretty weird stuff. Okay, so he played. He lost against Howdy. Then it was a tie with Dark. Probably should have played that game. I believe that Stump can win that. Then he beat Davato in round 3, which was the final round of Davato. Then he beat Contextual 3-0. Then he lost against Polders. You can maybe win that one. That's basically the big. That was pretty bad from him. I would say that's probably an upset. I would say. Then he won against Dauntless. If you remove that loss, he's suddenly like 2nd seed. And I believe that's an upset. Otherwise pretty solid. His 2 losses are against who did I say? I forgot. Against Polders and who was it? Fuck.
Howdy.
Howdy, yeah. I never know what to expect from Stump. If he's on his game, he can be really dangerous. And he's actually one of the few NA people that actually shoot the ball instead of dribbling, which is refreshing.
Yeah.
And pretty. I don't know what to expect really. It's gonna be interesting to see the matchup against you. Yeah. Yeah,
Was that my first round matchup? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that in last season that you lost against him, right? Or was it Dauntless?
I lost to Dauntless.
Yeah, you lost to Dauntless, and NFN lost to
Stump.
Stump. Yeah. So yeah, next we have Ghost, and Ghost. Oh boy, I'm scared. Ghost is playing well. So Ghost started pretty weak. Nah, not really.
He surprised everyone by beating LARP in the first round.
Yeah. No, he started strong. I mean, he beat LARP 4-0 at the start. Everybody thought that was like a mistake. Like LARP, what? It's not possible. Ghost always like does the yo-yo between champion in twos and platinum. Like, it's never consistent.
Yeah.
And then completely destroying LARP. Okay. Now and after that, he beats you in. It was rerolled, right?
Yeah, that was re-rolled by him.
And what was it? I don't remember.
It was pinball.
It was pinball. Okay, so
I don't know if we're going to talk about my games now or when it's when we discuss my results. But
yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't expect Ghost to play well in pinball considering his playstyle. So impressive win. Then he lost against me in hoops, and after that he tied Polders, which was the game everybody wanted to play but no one could. That was the actual real tie of the of the season. Like they both wanted to play but couldn't. Then he won against Howdy, so at this point he's like completely going off. And then lost against Ibori, which was a big game, and he lost that game really
close result as well.
Yeah, and I've played him recently, so he has internet issues, but when he doesn't have internet issues, he's playing really well. Like he's been practicing and grinding hard, and he's definitely scary. I don't know. I don't know what the result will be of the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if he surprised some people. So yeah, great playoffs, Ghost. I'm proud of you.
Well, he gets the chance for that match that they really wanted.
Yeah.
Because he's up against Polders.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nightmare to schedule, but I mean, they're gonna have to do it. Next, we have Polders. Polders who failed to be the 5th seed. God damn it, Polders. Although, if I remember correctly, he was the 4th seed also in last season. I think he was also 4th seed, and I just ranked him 5th seed on my power ranking. So yeah, pretty consistent from Polders. Okay, so let's take a look at Polders. Polders beat Davato. It was Davato in round 1, so expected result. Then beat Raf in the 2v2 game, which was a bit unexpected, but I mean, Erles and Raf almost never play together, and Erles...
I do remember watching this game, and I think Raf was trying to 1v2, whereas Polders was looking a little more for his teammate.
Yeah.
Which didn't eventually make the difference.
I believe that Polders has more experience playing with lower ranked people of that boy.
Yeah.
So that helps, I would say. Then he lost the game he shouldn't have lost. I mean, Polders, what are you doing losing in hoops?
In the hoops game.
Throwing the hoops
game. Supposed to be unbeatable at.
Yeah. I mean, it's... What are you doing? Then round 4 tie against Ghost. I believe that if that game is played, Ghost wins, but you never know of one game. Then he beats Stump in round 5, also convincing. And then round 6 I played him in Snow Day, and it was an overtime win. Pretty painful.
Painful that it had to be an overtime, or pretty painful because it was Snow Day?
Well, both of them. And pretty good playoffs by Polders. He won the game he should have won, except the hoops game. and you upset a little bit. I would say yeah, the stump game is an upset. I don't know if I would call the 2v2 an upset, but I don't know. Otherwise, very solid. Pretty well done. So yeah, he gets the 4 seed. So going up the ranks in the power ranking. Next we have David. So
Oh dear.
okay, so let's go over what happened during that season.
Yes.
Okay, so round 1 you beat Scheist 7-1.
With the camera settings.
Yeah, I mean pretty easy game. Scheist showing no real ability to adapt to terrible camera settings.
You might have not practiced with that, and I think I did do like 5 minutes in free play.
Yeah, that's the maximum you could do with those settings.
Before you get a headache.
Yeah, after that you go insane. Then round 2, it was it was Revolt. Yeah, it was the pinball game. That's an upset that you lost that game.
Yeah, but
so what happened?
I do remember I was doing terrible in all forms of 1v1 during those weeks. I think I dropped like 3 ranks in ranked as well. And I just played terribly this game, and Ghost played well. And my strategy relied on Ghost not playing well, because it was pinball and it was on US East. So I thought I'm just going to let him shoot, hit the backboard too hard, and then I'll score on the rebounds that he fails to reach. But he was shooting on target or doing weird dribbles.
Yeah. I mean, Ghost is playing weird, but he's becoming more and more efficient. And I also used to play off his mistake, and now it doesn't work anymore. I have to actually outplay him.
Yeah.
Next, round 3, you played Davato. I think that was Davato.
That was Arquette in hoops.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I think the only goal that he got was because I wasn't allowed to go for the kickoff on the first goal. So I think he just struggled with the hoops. I think there were a few kickoff goals on that one.
Yeah, he's not used to it. That's basically it, I guess.
Struggling with hoops.
Then round 4, you beat NFN 6-4.
Yes, that was the Rumble round, which I did not want to play against NFN.
Mm-hmm. And,
so we re-rolled to play on double goal.
Yeah. Yeah, you said that you led most of the game and then collapsed.
Yeah, I think I got a goal and a kickoff goal right in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then at the 0 seconds I scored another one, but that doesn't really mean much. Yeah. Basically, it's a 1-goal game.
Then in round 5, we played each other. What was the gimmick? I don't remember at all.
Unlimited boost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that game, you led most of the game.
Yeah.
And then I managed to scrap a win. But yeah.
Actually, I think you were winning right at the end, and then all of a sudden you whiffed in front of my goal, which tied it up for the overtime.
Yeah. But the early stages of the game you were leading by 2 goals. And then towards the end I was like, it went to 4-4. It was overtime, right? I believe it was overtime.
Yeah, it was overtime.
So yeah, I was leading 4-3, and then I whiffed at the very end, and you scored, and then I won in overtime. But it was super close.
I think there were 2 goals in that game of yours that were pretty much the same. The ball was on your half, and I challenged from way too far away. And you did some sort of pinch with the wall, or you just gave it a powerful hit and scored on the open net.
Yeah.
Which was also the overtime goal.
And then round 6, you won against Howdy on the Merc.
Yes.
Yeah. Howdy, that's going down. So yeah, I mean, pretty solid. I would say that the loss against Ghost is probably the big mistake of the.
Yeah.
But otherwise, pretty solid.
I mean, considering my two losses were, I think, a 0-second goal by Ghost, or like the last 10 seconds made the difference, and then in overtime, I'd say it's a decent result.
Yeah. Next, we have Hibori. Hibori, who managed to be quite impressive because it was Davato first, and then Hibori took over after round 3. So in round 1, Davato lost to Polders. Then in round 2, Davato won against Scheist, which it was the 2v2 game.
Yes.
And then Davato lost against Stump. And after that it was all Ibori. And then in round 4, Ibori barely won against Raf, which maybe shouldn't be that close, but I don't know. Then round 5, Ibori won against NFN, and then Ibori won against Ghost narrowly in round 6. So Ibori is still flawless this season.
Yeah.
And with that, he manages to get the second seed off 0.5 on the Buchhold. With a goal difference of 1. Good job. So yeah, Ibori, very scary. It's gonna be an interesting match in the playoff, an interesting matchup
Against Howdy.
Yeah, and also in the semifinals, if we consider that he's going to win his quarterfinal.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good stuff. Although pretty close games against Ghost and against Raf. So I don't really know what to expect.
The question is it close because the gimmicks are bad for him, or because the gimmicks are good for him?
I don't know. I think he can adapt to gimmicks pretty well. So I don't know how he'll play without gimmicks and on best of 3 situations. Yeah, I don't know how we'll react. And finally, there is me. Yes, it's me.
The undefeated.
Yes, perfect.
The only undefeated in both leagues.
Yeah, I've yet to lose a match in Joust ever. So yeah, first game I played NFN. It was the camera settings. I didn't like that at all. I could feel.
I don't think anyone really liked those camera settings, if we're going to be honest.
I didn't like, but it was. I could still play my shitty touches on the ground game, while NFN couldn't play his aerials and attempt stuff and defend weird playstyle.
Yeah. So
I wasn't at the advantage, I would say, with the gimmick. Next, I played Dauntless. It was round 2. Yeah, it was first to 5. So it was normal game. I believe I led 3-0, and then he scored 1, then I scored 1, and then he scored 1. So I was never in danger, really.
The King versus Kingsguard game.
Yeah. Then next, I played Ghost in Hoops, so I was also not really in danger, if I remember correctly. I gave up some goals, but I was always leading.
Yeah.
Next, I played Howdy in Rumble. Same, I was not in danger because I was just destroying him on the kickoff. And I scored like 4 kickoff goals. And
that's painful.
We barely saw any Rumble, really. And round 5, that's probably the game I should have lost against you, considering how it turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the game I should have lost. Also considering the gimmick, which was unlimited boost, which I believe favors you against me, because
Yeah, I think so.
it allows people to try more stuff, and if I try this more stuff, I usually it ends up failing, and if you try more stuff, usually it ends up winning. So it doesn't favor me, but it was barely winning. So, okay. And then round 6, I also could have lost that one on the snow day. I wasn't really caring that much, considering I had the first seed secured, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I was trying to pinch the puck a lot, which confused some people that were watching. I don't know, and also I think I was in voice chat with Polders during that game, so it was not that serious. So yeah. Now let's move on to the picture of the playoffs. So first game, there is NFN against myself. I I don't I don't think NFN likes to play me in 1v1. He has a bad experience of the matter, but but I don't think I'm going to lose that, but it's always possible. Uh,
Considering he was really bothered by the gimmick at the time you played in league
yeah,
play.
it's definitely going to be closer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm giving myself the win, but I'm not really that confident. Especially considering the other game in my part of the bracket. So the other game, Boulder's Ghost. I really believe that Ghost is going to destroy Boulders. Like it's going to be like 2-0, I believe, in terms of games. Yeah, Ghost is playing really well, and Boulders is not playing once at all. What do you have?
I predicted Ghost as well. They didn't play in the regular season, but I do think Ghost will probably just be that little bit more mechanically solid to get the wins there.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to call for me.
Also, every game will be played on US East, which could favor Ghost, maybe.
You probably will, yeah.
So, yeah. Next, we have Ibori against Howdy. I believe that Ibori can beat Howdy again.
Yeah.
Now, if Howdy manages to get going, like he is really streaky, I feel like if he is on a good streak, then he plays better. But if he's on a bad streak, then he cannot get out of the slump. So I think Ibori is probably better suited.
Game.
But I don't know. What's your take?
Yeah, I do think Ibori has this one, although it's hard to call for me because I did play Ibori in the previous season, but I can't say much about that because the gimmick for that one was no boost.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell much how someone plays 1v1 from the no boost game. And then Howdy I played Howdy in the last week, and that wasn't too challenging. Eventually, I thought it was going to be a more challenging game, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's why I did predict Ibori to win this one.
Yeah, and yeah, Ibori is really hot, and I really believe that he's going to be just fine. Yeah, I don't see really how Howdy can beat Ibori on three games. Next, we have your game.
Oh dear.
Against Stump.
I honestly see this going either way.
Yeah, I mean, Stump is going to say that you're his nemesis because he never wins against you, and he never wins against, and I quote, European defensive players, whatever. I don't know what he calls it. But I
Yeah.
remember in season 2 when it was the playoffs and you beat him and he was really upset. So yeah, I think he's more able to tilt it than you. Now I believe that game really depends on the server region. If the last game is in US East, then it might be scary.
Yeah. It's funny because the people say that I have some sort of rivalry with Scheist, but I've played against Stump in every single jousting season.
Yeah,
Um,
but is it a rivalry if he never wins?
well, he won. He won in season 1, where
Oh
we did a
yeah,
single elimination or a double elimination bracket.
yeah,
Um, where I was I'd still consider myself bad at ones, but I was absolutely terrible then.
yeah.
Um, that was insane because I got a 3-goal lead and then I threw, and then he threw again to give me a lead, and then I threw that lead. It was a mess of a game.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then
that game.
in the second season, when I beat him, I think he was shocked. He was completely surprised that I
Yeah,
had gotten better at the game, and he was tilted for at least 4 hours, I think, after that.
yeah. And last season, yeah, you won, but it was pretty expected.
Yeah, by then, people were expecting it, so the pressure was on me a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the gimmick was for that game.
I don't remember, but yeah. So yeah, I'm also giving you, but maybe in 3 games. Maybe the game in one game in US East, he wins that one. It depends on how you play, basically. Next round. In my opinion, we're gonna have Ghost against myself, and I'm scared of that game. And we're gonna have Ibori against you, and I have absolutely no clue how it will go. I would say both games go to 3, and I would say probably Ibori.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in my own prediction, I'm optimistic about myself, but I honestly don't. I can definitely see myself losing the first round as well. So I'd say that's a tough one to call. Because the one time I've 1v1 against Ibori was no boost, and he didn't handle that very well at all.
Yeah.
Um, but it doesn't say much. Although I can't really say enough about Ghost against you. I really think that should be a win for you. Just continuing the perfect season.
It's all perfect.
He might
Well,
drop a game, but I don't really see
well,
him
dropping
losing.
games. What the hell? What is that mentality? Yeah. I mean, I believe I'm going to at least drop a game against Ghost, and I might lose the series against Ghost, because he's playing well, and it's gonna be in US East, and it's going to be annoying. Now, if I play Boulders, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I'm going to have the edge mentally over him, and there is going to be the pressure of the money, and I think it's going to get to him. So yeah, if it's Ghost, I'm worried. So I'm rooting for Boulders. Go Boulders, go. And yeah, I would say boring 3 games, but I'm sorry.
I haven't watched any of his games, but I'm not very confident in my own 1v1 ability
Yeah.
at the moment. So
Also, yeah, coming back to NFN, I believe he's going to practice ones a little bit more. So the first game is going to be not that easy, maybe. I don't know. Now for the finals, what do you have? So you have you against me.
yes, very
Oh
optimistic
boy,
of myself.
what's the result?
You're winning that for sure
Oh boy, ending up with a
because
perfect streak.
we have. I mean, we've played 1v1s multiple times,
It's pretty
and
close usually.
maybe the score lines, but in games, I think take 1 or 2 out of a set of 5 to like 8.
I don't think that's
Generally,
that bad.
I think it is. I don't. I remember one time you were having a really bad day and I was winning more than half, but it's rare that I win more than half of the 1v1s against you.
Yeah, I don't know. I have Ibori against myself. I'm giving myself the edge, but I think it might go to 5. Also, for the bronze match, I have you winning against Ghost. Good job.
Redeeming myself from the round 2 loss against Ghost.
Yeah. How many times did you get third place? I think 2 times, right? Or only
I
once.
didn't get. Well, I got 4th place last time. In
Oh yeah,
season 2,
you lost.
I
And
got
yes,
3rd
season.
place because Chiari
Yeah,
didn't bother to play the game.
that's true.
So I probably would have gotten 4th there. And then last season I got 4th place again because I played NFN. And I think that series went to 3, or it was close results.
Yeah.
But yes, top 4, but not top 2.
A lot of top 4. Except in season 1, where
That
that
was
was pretty
terrible.
bad.
I think I was Challenger 2 in 1v1s at the time. Like 10 games in a season.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking back at like the predictions of during each week, and there are games where there is a lot of red, a lot of bad predictions, like the game Ghost Howdy. A lot of people predicting Howdy. Stump Boulders, a lot of people predicting Stump. Noxu Nomad, which we said was a big upset.
Yeah.
Lunzik Walnut, with a lot of people voting for Lunzik. Yeah, otherwise it's pretty okay. Tanner Oten, no one knows. Most people voted Oten though. Yeah, me included. Pim Jury, we said that was an upset. Yeah. Polders Howdy, yeah, it was the oops game and people trusting the big Polders. Big mistake. Then there is 2v2, but it's a mess because no one knows. It's also there is a lot of rerolls during that round. And during week 1, Dauntless losing to Raf was a surprise. Ghost winning against LARP was a surprise. Darkson losing against Noxu was a surprise. Pim losing against Yondemi was a surprise. A bunch of surprises.
It's funny if you go to the 2v2 round.
Yeah.
It makes a whole lot of sense for everyone to vote me and Darkson against Ghost and Tanner.
Yeah.
So that was, the rerolls contributed to the upset.
Yeah.
I would say.
But I mean, even with the reroll, that was probably a game you shouldn't have lost. It was a big win for Ghost.
And then Dauntless against you looks a bit more 50-50 there.
Yeah. Probably
Even
around
considering
that.
the teams.
If people knew I would reroll, maybe that would have not been that close. I don't know.
I knew you would reroll because you said it in the
in the
Jousting
private channel.
So I took that into consideration when predicting.
Collusion into.
I still think I didn't win that prediction round anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, Fire doing great with only one good prediction for the week. Good job. Yeah, who won that? It was Tanner and Archeet. Yeah, big week. Alright, I think we've talked about everything. Do you want to talk about something else? I don't know.
Well, you're streaming more often, playing more ranked than you have last season, so.
Yeah, I'm almost at the silver rewards. It's pretty good.
Did you get champ rewards last season? Did you end up?
No, I ended at platinum rewards. I didn't get diamond.
I mean, you don't use them anyways, but
No.
it's always a nice thing to have, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Do you have any goals, like ranks you want to reach this season, or do you not really care at all?
Well, I don't really care. I didn't even think about it. I just want to improve. And yeah, my big goal is to improve as a team with the big Dutches, the Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
And I think it's improving, but there's a lot of work to do. Uh, yeah, it's not really ideal yet, but it will come. I don't know what's your take on that, but
Um, I do think there's definitely room for improvement. Um, the question is, to what extent should the whole, people adjusting to other people? To what extent should we be adjusting to the play style that you want to play, as opposed to the play style we've been used to for the last few months? Um, that's something to think about. And
well, I really believe that everybody is adjusting to you, and
I
and,
can see that.
and it's kind of new for you to adjust to someone else. Like
Yeah.
when you play with like Darkson or Pim, like they completely adjust to you, and NFN as well. I would say maybe not as much, but his playstyle is so different from. I mean, he's a bit out of the place. I don't really understand the way NFN plays sometimes. That I don't really know what's going on, but definitely the third guy is always adjusting to you.
Yeah.
And I've been adjusting, but I'm forcing you to adjust to me as well, which I believe is new to you.
I think it wasn't new at a certain point in time.
Yeah,
Then somewhere in season 3, I started only playing ranked with people I knew, like in parties, and I did a whole lot less of solo standard and all that. So the whole adjusting to teammates did decrease in a sense. I can definitely see what you'd mean with that.
yeah. Also, when I play, I'm asking everyone to adjust to a certain way of playing. So that's definitely on me. Like, I'm not pretending that it's not on me the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also believe that it's coming from the fact that I'm one of the few people that will tell you things that go wrong. Like when you queue
Yeah.
with like Darkson or Pim, they're not going to tell you that that was not good or something like that.
And I do remember somewhere, I think season 3, season 4, I uh, I did feel like I needed that. So I always felt like the person that was telling others off for things they were doing, and no one was telling me what to fix and what to.
Yeah,
And so, with not knowing I mean, there's always things to fix and get better at it, whatever. But without people telling me what I'm consistently doing wrong or need to fix, I started only noticing things my teammates were doing that were annoying me, and that
yeah.
wasn't very fun. I still have that sometimes. Where
I'm like that all the time.
I might be playing bad, but I'm just more confused or angry at what other people are doing because I don't get it.
Well, that's me all the time. I'm mostly confused. In 2v2 I'm not really confused, but in 3v3 I don't understand what goes in people's minds sometimes.
I mean, I'll be honest. I have that sometimes with the things you do as well. So it's not a unique thought to have.
The issue is that on similar situations, I might do different things. But because it depends on stuff that you cannot really notice, like how I'm turned or something like that. So it leads you to. I mean, leads me to appearing completely with like no habits and no logic, which is difficult.
Yeah, and I've found myself a few times where the way you position your car and the way you're driving around makes it really look like you're wanting to go and challenge the ball or go and hit the ball. And then after I see that for like a second, you tell us, "Oh, I've got no boost," and that's really confusing because in my mind, I've not been going because it looks like you're about to go.
Yeah. Well, what I
That's
do a
also
lot.
a bit calms that I'm terrible at multitasking, I guess.
Well, it comes. It's difficult. It really takes a long time to both be able to talk and be able to listen.
Yeah.
I remember in TF2, it was a nightmare at the start to actually listen. Listening was harder than talking because it was like a lot of people
Mm.
and it's tough. But yeah, I mean, it's a skill to develop, being able to communicate. And what I was about to say, I don't remember. Yeah, sometimes I just show up in front of the ball without boost just to show that I'm able to play the ball to the opponent, so that it forces him to do something and then make it easier for the people back. But it's not clear.
Yeah. And sometimes the people back are completely capable of getting that ball and doing something with it, and the no boost challenge makes it a bit of a confusing thing for them.
Yeah. There is still a lot of work. What I should be doing is play with Ibori sometimes, because I don't seem to have those issues that I have with you in terms of playstyle. I don't know, but yeah, it's fun
Maybe solo
to
queues
improve.
more and
What?
adapts better, or he just has
Yeah, I
similar
think
playstyle.
he's similar playstyle. Like he's less in the air than you, but
Well,
he
that's
adapts more.
easy.
Yeah, I think he's more adaptive to just rigid in terms of playstyle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I do think we're completely opposite on when it comes to the strong points and weak points in our play. I'd
yeah,
say my stronger point is aerials and my weaker point is ground play, and that's basically swapped for you.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, it works out, but I think it depends on who the third is and how defensive he can play, or like I don't like when teammates are really defensive, and I think you like when teammates are defensive. So it's like really different playstyles that takes a while to get used to, but it's going to work out. I'm just going to mold you as I want.
You're not going to change yourself. You're going to
I
change
mean,
us. That's your mission.
I believe that I've been changing quite a bit.
I,
Uh,
I have no. I mean, the results have been getting better in ranked at least.
like the now, if you do a critic of my rotations in set defense, now I would be upset because I believe I'm rotating a lot more than I used to.
Hmm.
Also in
Yeah, I do have a
rotation.
lot less. I see you like turning on the wall in the corner to challenge something I'm seeing that a lot less. That's true.
So yeah. But yeah. And also the communication has been improving, I would say.
Have we recently played threes with someone, the third that's not NFN? I don't recall. I think it's always me,
No.
NFN, and someone else.
Yeah.
He's always around for threes. That's what makes it so convenient.
I've been playing with Shieston on FN.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting.
How did that go?
It went okay, but we stopped after like 6 games.
Shice is very interesting to play with as well, because the lag always plays a part in the whole
Yeah.
story. And Shice on EU servers is a completely different person from Shice on NA servers. And it always
Yeah.
takes a game or two to adjust when we swapped. Shice on EU is the very defensive and careful playing person that
Which is
works
probably
well
better.
with
Well,
NFN and
yeah.
I's playstyle,
Yeah.
but he'll whiff a bunch of things because the lag is terrible, and that's understandable.
So basically,
And then on
you get a copycat of Pim,
with
defensive and with him sometimes.
probably better mechanics as well.
Yeah. Wow.
And then on NA, he's a little more reckless, a little faster to go for something. So we have to adapt to that a little bit, but normally works. We just can't lose more than 2 in a row, because then
Yeah.
Shice leaves us, and we have to find someone else.
That's the motto. Alright. I think we've talked about most things. I don't know. Do you want to add some things to the fans still listening? We still have some people watching.
I mean, now that we're talking about ranked playstyles, all of the people in chat have become active.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I wanted to talk about my coaching, like under quotes, and I think I should stop just doing those replays analysis that brings nothing, and I should like do some more in-depth coaching with people. So if you want to be coached, uh, just tell me, and we might go in depth with the coaching, like
So you're going to stop
watching
having the
replays
purple roll in the other Discord.
Yeah, I mean,
As if you're ever in the other Discord, anyways.
no, I'm
The
not.
Rocket League
Just
Discord.
I'm not a coach anymore, and yeah, I should be committing to less people. I'm not really committing to a lot of people, but I should be committing to like something instead of just saying, well, I'm going to do replays.
Yeah. Ghost
So, yeah.
wants me to judge his ranked playstyle, but I think the last times we played ranked, we gave up after a game or two because the lag was just not fun to play with.
Yeah.
I do have this this one memory that sticks, which is Ghost has the ball, he's bringing it down the side of the field, and then he just decides to leave the ball. He just drops the ball and starts chasing the defender or the goalie. And I'm in the center of the field, or like the other side of the field, expecting some sort of hit or pass. And so the goal's just left open because Ghost decides he wants to get a demo on someone and doesn't need the ball for that. That's the only thing I can really remember. That's ages ago, anyways.
Yeah. Ghost changes so much that it doesn't really make sense to even judge like Like I remember playing with him, and I was on my laptop, so it was already a nightmare. And it was with polders in him, and it was just awful, awful. I was getting mad and everything. But yeah,
If you play with polders, you always sound mad for some reason.
it's part of the enjoyment.
Getting mad at polders.
Yeah.
I've done it a lot more recently as well.
Yeah. I'm not
It's
so
habits
sure.
I'm picking up from you.
I'm not so sure that he likes it when it comes from you.
Oh, feels bad, man.
I mean, I think he's okay with it, but not all the time. Can
Sometimes
take a toll on
I'm
his
actually
morale.
frustrated, so yeah. Polders has these very specific things I'm trying to keep telling him not to do, and it's annoying when he does it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Besides that, yeah. So yeah, coming back to the coaching, I'm gonna try to follow people, but it's gotta be motivated people. Like I see your messages, Erlas, and I don't want to see some. I don't want to play because I might lose or whatever. That's not happening. There is motivation. Like it's eye of the tiger.
You get trading montages,
Yeah.
like you get in movies.
What? Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. Unless you had something else in mind.
No, I think we've almost talked for 2 hours, so
That's pretty good.
good length of podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to. Oh yeah, so I'm going to recap. So yeah, this is part 1 of this episode. The second part is coming later this week with an undisclosed guest. And the next part is going to be more about the structure of jousting and what can be changed and what works, what doesn't. And it's gonna come later this week. Probably late this week, probably in the weekend. And what else? Oh yeah, I'm going to upload this to YouTube. And so that it's more convenient for everyone.
So polders can actually listen. Apparently Twitch was being terrible for him.
Yeah, I'm just putting out Twitch so that it's convenient to. Oh, and also I'm going to upload the previous episodes on YouTube because I think it's maybe lost. I mean, it's still on my computer, but I'm not sure it's still on SoundCloud because SoundCloud is trash. So yeah, I'm going to make it available for everyone and neat and cool, okay? So yeah, stay tuned not next week, but for the end of the week, for the part 2 of this episode. Thank you, David, for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Fun.
And I'll see you guys for the next episode then. Alright, see you later.
See you.
Oh well. I'm muted now. Why is it always longer than I expect?